It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex Social Trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.
Good morning, guys. 25th of July 2019, 8 a.m. CET. Piotr here, meaning that's the pre-London Open live market coverage only here on Light Forex Global YouTube channel. Big day today, meaning it's a ECB day. So yeah, hopefully we are going to see some fireworks. Before we start today, as usual, risk warning. Please bear in mind trading effects on margin trading. Crypto on margin carries a high level of risk, may not be suitable for investors. You can sustain a loss of some or all initial investments, so please do not invest the money that you cannot afford to lose. Seek education, gain experience before risking real money. However, past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Okay. As you can see below the charts, big invitation. You are more than welcome to join me today, 1 p.m. CET, 12:30 p.m. London, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. We are going to cover ECB rate decision live as well as press conference later on. Okay, let's have a look before we will discuss Euro and possible scenarios related to the rate decision as well as press conference. Let's have a look what we had during the Asian hours, and there was a RBA Governor Love speaks, and of course he sends Aussie dollar lower, saying that RBA may cut if needed. Of course, looks like it's right now that's the direction. Let's cut it. Let's try to push risk higher. Anyway, in relation to the neighbor, in relation to the Kiwi dollar, Australian dollar lost the ground again, testing bottom of this possible demand again. We closed the business yesterday. As long as we are above yesterday low, as long as we are above this week low, the possibility of going higher quite nice. So let's switch to the hourly chart here. Looks like we might try to call that one as a test. The only thing is that the late rally yesterday, right, and the beginning of the Tokyo session, we just hit supply. We didn't, from the intraday perspective, we didn't hurt sellers yet. So yeah, it would be good to be very careful here. Anyway, it might be the test, and once we are going to move above 104.25, right, we might open levels closer to 104.50 and 104.50. That's what we discussed on Aussie Kiwi. That might be crucial from medium term perspective for the bulls here. So let's have a look what we have on Australian dollar versus US dollar. We are below key psychological level. We are below 70. We are below 70.10, which is this year open. So overall, a negative bearish view here. The thing is, and I'm going to watch carefully, the thing is that we are eventually approaching quite important possible demand zone around 69.50, and that's what we discussed. Breaking below 69.50 will expose 69. I think the stops gonna be targeted, and we might see move lower towards 68, 60, 68, 40 again. To the upside in that case, if you are looking for a selling opportunity because of this break of the trend line on daily, I see possible aggressive supply around 69, around 69.80 here, right? The move during the Tokyo session. Above this, we might see some stop count above Tokyo session, and the next possible supply, very narrow range lately. The next possible supply, 69.87, 69.90. So watching Australian dollar very carefully, and of course later today during our afternoon meeting where we are going to watch what is going on, Euro Aussie is gonna be targeted by us as well. Right here we are trying to bounce. Yeah, quite interesting thing. Testing some supply right now. Yeah, we will see what's going to happen here as well. Okay, so that was the most important thing during the Tokyo session. Another important thing is how the yen crosses are behaving ahead of the Bank of Japan next week. The market looks like market is divided here. Looks like market is divided here, and you know, we had few comments about the possible powerful easing continuation, but not everyone inside the Bank of Japan, not every Bank of Japan member is backing this type of the monetary policy, and some see would be good to pause to see what we might get in the near term. So in that case, yesterday we had a huge option expiration, so the dollar yen wasn't huge market mover. So basically no change to what we previously discussed. The good point is that we are above weekly open, we are above Monday low, right? That's the good thing from the bulls perspective. The a little bit worse information for bulls is that it's just Thursday, so it's still like 48 hours to try to push prices higher. We are also above Monday high. We are trying to get back into inside Monday range, but we built a lower shadow. Now it's a big day because of the ECB, but it's also quite a big day because of the US data today, tomorrow, ahead of the FOMC next week. So we are talking about the durable good orders later today, as well as GDP tomorrow. So quite important, because we are testing right now the supply we were discussing previously, right? So bulls need to take out 108.35.40 to open 108.60.70. 108.60.75. To the downside, of course, weekly open works right now as possible demand. So we are talking about the levels closer to 107.50, where previously was described this level as a line on the sand, right? Now, next, let's have a look on Euro JPY. In that case, of course, we are going to watch closer. We are going to watch closer the Euro Yen this afternoon. Steady move to the downside here from the intraday perspective, but let's have a look from a higher time frame where we are. Looks like all important levels been broken here, right? All important levels been broken here, and we want to, at least looks for now, we want to retest this low based on what we've seen at the very beginning of 2019, the huge Niagara Falls, right? This huge manipulation to the downside, right? so that's what we are going to discuss this afternoon as well. Now, because it's ECB day, we are going to connect with Michał ahead of the more details from the chart, ahead of the especially euro dollar, pound dollar, ahead of the ECB day. We are going to discuss DAX as well. But before we continue, let's check what Michał got for us. So please bear with me. We will be back in a few seconds. Good morning, Michał.
Good morning, Peter. Good morning.
Shall I ask how you're doing, or is, as usual, everything is all right?
As usual, we can say as usual. Nothing changed since yesterday,
Okay.
except the euro pound trade from yesterday.
Yeah, that was quite nice setup to the downside. Of course, congratulations to all of you who are participating. From the intraday perspective, so before we will go further, you're right. Let's have 1 minute with euro pound chart. So overall here we broke through this 89.60, 89.50, very important level. So from the intraday perspective, we are drawing this head and shoulder possible pattern we discussed. The final target is below 89. What I'm gonna to look for today to try to fade any kind of the rally towards 89.70. What is the risk event? The risk event is ECB on the one side, and the other side is any negative comment from the Boris Johnson. So here, just using the opportunity, we are going to discuss about the ECB. Here, the short pre-London Open euro pound analysis, looking to sell the rallies towards 89.70, maybe a little bit higher. All right, all over to you, Michał.
I will just add that from the yesterday, the profit which you can make, it was about 40 to 50 pips at least. So I think it was quite good with very low risk, risk reward. And also, if someone is following your webinars, there was a little bit kind of a swing on the 1 hour chart or even half an hour chart. Around London Open, okay. So I will go further. I will a little bit start from the bigger perspective from the IMF, which of course lowered the projections for the global GDP. It was from in 2018 it was 3.6. 2017 3.8, and for this year their projection is at 3.2. So, and the main reason that the global economy is slowing down are the trade tensions because of the sanctions, because of the situation with Iran, and because of the China trade wars. The amount of the global volume of the trade services was a bit smaller. And according to Euro for the yesterday, I think that the PMIs were they were very, very bad, but
especially the German one.
Yes, of course, but the euro was weak even way before this data release. So I think that it won't be as much as a very strong reason, very strong argument to lower the rates at today's meeting. And I think that also I think that the stance of the ECB, I think they want to at first look what will go from what the outcome will be from the US, how the data will come and how the Fed will cut the rates, and then they will react. And if the difference is that the Fed will cut, I think, and most of the economists are pricing that they will cut by 25 basis points, the smaller amount. But I think the ECB, if they will do it in September, which is very much probably according to the data we have so far and how the euro is priced, I think it is very, very much likely to happen. And one also the biggest, I think you will agree with me on that. They have this big problem with the Brexit, right? It is not just that the UK economy will fall if the no deal Brexit will come, yeah, and it is very more likely to happen when the Boris Johnson is elected as new prime minister, right?
You're right. Let me disturb you here for a second. Of course, you are right that the question about the Brexit. But on the other hand, if you remember, previous week we got this encouraged comments from the EU members. It was Barnier, as far as I remember, that he's open for a little bit new negotiations.
Yes, and okay, so I will give you the counterparty, which is I think you also read about this Irish Prime Minister.
Yeah.
He said that it's not gonna happen. That the Boris Johnson he's all about this, his ambitions, his plans and his vision. But Leo Varadkar, yes, the name is the Prime Minister. When he heard about the Boris Johnson want to make a better deal for the Britain, he just said it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Yes, not going to happen. Not in the real world, and also that the confidence and this is the quote: confidence and enthusiasm is not a substitute for a European policy of a foreign. It's not a European policy or a foreign policy. So I think it's another punch from the Eurozone side to the Boris Johnson. He looks like more. And I think from the UK perspective, they choose him because he has the charisma, and I think he will not be. If he fail, if the messy Brexit will become true, and they will leave the EU on the end of the October, I think he will be he said that he will take all the blame on himself, but I think also the parliament, the politics, and the people from the UK, they will have no problem to blame him also, to make him as a I forgot the word. As a goat for the as a person to blame the most, right? That he failed, and all the blame will go to him. I don't know if what is your opinion? That you're more like it won't happen, or the messy Brexit, or it will happen? Because there is a 50% chances right now from the Bloomberg economist.
Those economists,
I know they try to mislead us, but
I think that if, because it's very short period of time left, right? And I've been thinking the way that if we are going to see a little bit better EU numbers, which has not been seen, have not been seen, so then it's gonna be a little bit tougher stance. But Eurozone got their own problems inside, internal problems, plus tariffs as well. So I can't see possibility of the tougher stance, because I've been for a quite long time I've been in position that Brussels will show with UK as an example for any other country who would in the future would like to leave EU, that it's not worth to do that,
You
right?
wouldn't like them.
But unfortunately, I think right now, because of all these internal and external problems EU got right now, I think EU might be more flexible. So I'm not saying that we are going to get a good solution, but I think that's what Boris Johnson understands right now, that's this light in the tunnel for him to try to get better deal because of the internal EU problems.
Yes, he is like all in right now.
Yeah, that's the poker face right now and poker game.
Yes, it will be bad either way. With the deal or without the deal, and he will try to. Yes, I think that also, and I think we will have at the today's meeting we will have a strong hints from the ECB about the quantitative easing, new way of easing monetary policy, and about the rate cut. I think because the Brexit is getting closer and closer, the data are worse and worse, and I think they will have to. I think they will give a sign, give a hint that they're gonna do something, and if it will continue like that, the data from the euro and like the complications with the Brexit, I think they will just sharply cut the rates and do some aggressive stuff to make some parachute for the before the Brexit.
Right? All right, because we are running a little bit out of time. Tell me your final verdict, because as far as I know, you are away later during the day. So tell me.
Yeah, I will be watching, but yeah.
Tell me your final verdict, please. What's your view? What's gonna be the decision, and where from here Euro dollar?
Okay, Euro pound. So give me a second. The decision, I think, will be that they will leave the rates untouched, but they will give at the meeting, they will give us strong hints. I think that will be the case, and that will be the market drive for today. And about the pricing, I will need to show, because I don't see quite good on your charts.
Just enough if you think euro dollar higher or euro dollar lower.
According to this, I think it will be lower still.
Okay, so you do not expect the cut, and you expect euro dollar lower. All right.
Yeah, still with the US.
Okay.
But if you don't mind, just to talk about the US dollar index, and then I will revise my stance. But I think that will be the case also. We are on the strong support, but yeah, still.
Oh, okay. So I do expect some kind of a little bit of the shock from ECB. I do expect ultra dovish. The thing is, and the big question is, what's already priced in, right? And after our conversation, I'm going to go through the details of euro-dollar chart. So yeah, we can then comment again tomorrow morning.
Yes. I think I will just at the end I will add that for the short and maybe you're right a little bit, we will see a rally, but in the midterm later today in the evening and the next day we will see like the
still lower
downwards. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Michał, thank you very much for your comments, for your inputs. Have a great rest of the day and see you tomorrow morning.
Okay. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye bye. All right, so what we have here is a weekly euro-dollar chart. We are going, of course, to go through the details later during our afternoon meeting. But it's good to know where we are from medium-term perspective, right? And if you remember, I held 3 educational webinars which are still available in the archive section here on Light Forex Global YouTube channel. So yeah, I strongly encourage you to watch them all. We have this possible, the big demand zone, blue zone over here, based on the weekly chart, based on the breakout from the consolidation we've seen for 2.5 years some time ago, right? Now there is one can also ask why we are fighting around the current level around 111.40, 111, because of this red box, because of this red box we have here. So we have also possible demand zone based on the monthly chart, and here is the latest place where we saw the weakness. So overall, from the medium-term perspective, we are very close to the possible demand on euro-dollar, right? On the other hand, because of this week price action, of course we need the end of the week for confirmation, but because of what we've seen right now, the levels above 112 towards 112.25, 112.35 as a possible supply. Now it's worth to mention that in between 11.70 and 12.25 today, 10 a.m. New York, in other words 4 p.m. CET, we have more than 3 billion in expiration. So trying to summarize this weekly chart, it's all about what's priced in, right? In case of the shock, as I've mentioned, that ultra dovish ECB, we might see break of 111 and move towards lower, towards 1080, 1060. If Draghi will not deliver, right, bears might be forced to close, and we might see the spike towards 1220, 1235. That's how I see from the medium-term perspective. Now, interesting thing is, from the intraday perspective, when we are going to try to check how euro-dollar is moving from June, right? So we had 2 waves, 2 upside waves, similar in size, right? Then as well we had all the moves to the downsides were similar in size as well. Let me make some cleanings here. I'm going to leave it for our afternoon meeting. And it's quite important because, as you are going to see in a second, that's the last move. And now we have some kind of the consolidation inside possible demand, right? So in case of rally, so I assume that we might want to try to hit stops based on yesterday low. We might want to hit red line, so possible demand based on monthly chart. And in case of rally, look, in case of rally, right, we might see retest of 1230, 1235 level, right, in case of the rally. Now, in case of the breakdown from here, right, we might see move down towards 1080, 1060. So again, it's all about what's priced in from here and what we are going to get from Draghi. Actually, actually the truth is that the next movies depends on what the big guys wants to do. So overall we are fighting right at demand zone, all right, but I'm not gonna be surprised to see ahead of the ECB move lower, trying to move below 111, right? And when everyone is going to expect further move to the downside, quick spike ahead of the press conference and maybe continuation to the downside, it's gonna be really very interesting. So you are more than welcome to join me today 1:30 p.m. CET. So that's how I see euro dollar here in relation to the euro pound rally towards this breakdown point over here. As I mentioned before, I'm looking for selling opportunity on rallies above 89.60. The rest euro crosses we are going to discuss this afternoon. So let's switch right now to pound USD. Looks like we are in a phase where some weakest shorts are forced to cover. So we have this bigger rallies, intraday bigger rallies on cable. But let's start with daily chart, because we are trying to hold the level we were discussed yesterday, right? We saw the rally, but again we have an upper shadow, right? Again, this time it's getting lower and lower, right? Previously we were talking about 25.80, 26. Right now we are talking about levels around 25, 25, 20, right? So that's the possible supply. Two important levels from my perspective when we are talking about the bears: 25, 25, 20 and 25, 80, 20, 26. To the downside, on the other hand, we are right now around the weekly open, as you can see, blue dotted line, right? We are around the weekly open. So Monday low as the first possible demand, and it's around 24.55. So that's how I see the things. Still the range towards the ECB decision. Now, switching lower to the intraday chart. Okay. I see here demand, and looks like it's working at the beginning of the Frankfurt session, all right? And then again, the Monday low, which is connected to the latest fall we've seen on Tuesday, right? The manipulation point. So that's how I see the demand. First, looks like it's working here during the Frankfurt session, right? And then I see another one a little bit lower. On the other hand, in contrary, the supply is of course closer to Monday high, but in connection to what we've seen during the Monday afternoon, it might be over under in play. So there is a little bit of the possible stop count. So the first supply, as I mentioned, in between 25, 25, 20, all right? And then again, if we are going to see stop count to the upside, right, there is a very good liquidity towards 25, 80, 26, right? What we discussed a few times already. And my way of thinking, if we hit some kind of the intraday low yesterday, 2 days ago, this week low, so in case of the stronger spike to the upside, looking for liquidity above 25.80. Okay, so that's how I see the pound. Now looks like traders on DAX also expecting big shock and ultra dovish comments. Looks like ECB to the rescue. You know, it's we are living in very very strange time when the bad news is a very good news from the stocks perspective. So looks like ultra loose monetary policy from the ECB is driving bulls higher here on DAX. So we are trading around 12,600 based on my chart. Let's have a look what we have from the daily chart perspective. Here I think we are going to get our answer very soon in case of either breakout or failure, right? Because what we have here, we have possible supply based on what we've seen previously, right? And the whole zone looks like this, and we are inside, taking into the consideration a latest price action, taking into the consideration the first retest of this supply, right? It's quite important what we have here, right? And especially important thing, factor which is very important, yesterday close. We were higher, we closed below the opening range from the 3rd of July, right? So we are fighting, creating lower shadow based on the monthly chart. So it's gonna be very interesting to see where we are after the ECB today. But don't forget, right after, let's say, London fix, right after the London fix today, market may switch and start to start to thinking about the US GDP tomorrow and FOMC next week. So as I mentioned a few days ago, maybe we don't have huge fireworks yet, maybe we don't have 150 200 pips moves on euro dollar yet, but I think because of the a little bit lower liquidity, because of the summer holiday, because of the importance of the period of time between now and the end of the July, I truly believe we are going to get some fireworks on the market. So we are testing very important level here on the DAX, right? So let's have a look what we have to the left, trying to check the intraday perspective. Okay, and as you can see here right now, pre-open, from the intraday perspective, we are testing mid of that supply, right? And we testing this supply right here, right now. And from the intraday chart perspective, we have this around 15 points intraday supply zone. So it's gonna be worth to watch where we have the DAX open, cash market open, and what is going on if it's not gonna be just the trap. Now, Michał also mentioned that IMF lowered the outlook for global growth again. So yeah, the worse data we have, the higher we are on the indices. Well, I'm not saying it's going to happen over today or tomorrow, but once market will realize that something is really wrong, then good luck. Someone is gonna to turn the light off. Anyway, so that's what I'm gonna to look at the very beginning of the London session. I'm going to monitor the euro dollar, what's gonna be the behavior. Just the reminder, huge expiration at 4 p.m. CET, 10 a.m. London on euro dollar, more than 3 billion in between 11.70, 12.25. ECB might be good excuse to try to spike higher, to try to make so options traders may want to use that event as an opportunity to manipulate the market to make their deals done. All right, guys, that's it this morning from me. Don't be trapped during the London session. Please join me 1:30 p.m. CET here, Light Forex Global YouTube channel. We are going to cover ECB live. Have a great one. See you this afternoon goodbye.
It would be great to have someone who could do our work for us, right? Someone to prevent us from making mistakes. Someone to assist with our routine professionally and allow us to devote our time to communicating with our closest people. If only we could get results without wasting our time for nothing. Unfortunately, it's impossible in real life. But wait, Light Forex social trading. Spend your time doing what really matters to you.